Thank you for that. There we go. Yeah, no, we've thank you to Darren, and we've got Catherine, and we've got Bronson. So yeah, drop your chat and your comments in there, and any questions as we go through. What I've got tonight is a very quick, short of there not being an expert in the room, very quick history. So a bit of history around it. Very quick. Few advantages of N1MM. Why do I need to use N1MM? Some local comments, of which I got 3 or 4 local comments, which I'll feed in. And then I was just going to go through, if you're comfortable with it, a quick bit of how do I install it. Really easy to install, but there are some gotchas, and I came across a number of them as I was doing it, so I was going to put that into the mix. Probably some of the setup that you've got to do, which is the stereotypical stuff that we'll go through, and I'll show you where that is. Won't go through the database considerations. That's if you're wanting to run a multi-station, well, you need to take into account some database considerations and a few other things, but I think most of us are probably going to be running single operator contest type modes, so the database does its thing. SQLite is the database. Little bit of setup, and what I'll then go into is give you the 2 scenarios that you're most likely going to be using N1MM in, which is your standard logging, DX logging, normal logging, and then show you the VHF and above field day, which is a user-defined contest in N1MM. Also show you how you configure a user-defined contest. Really easy. So if people are comfortable with that, that's what I am suggesting we go through. Now, if the very first time I ever looked at N1MM, and I don't know whether people remember this, it was a DOS-based application. So that's how long ago it was. It was a bit of a command line DOS-based sort of arrangement. It was still the DXpeditions logger of choice, even when it was DOS. In fact, it was made for DXpeditions originally. That's Tom Wagner. Back in the 2000s, every DXpedition was using N1MM, and they had it networked in their remote locations or wherever they were going. It was very much community driven. There's a whole community of developers out there now, that's fantastic, because if someone spits the dummy, you suddenly don't have support. You've still got a team of support. They're always adding stuff to it. There was a huge rewrite that was done in 2014, which brought it into a native Windows environment. So that was the transition to Logger Plus. So it's N1MM Logger Plus. They did a whole lot of enhancements. I think they changed the database architecture and a few other things. So there was a fairly major change done in 2014. It's free. It's open source. You can make donations if you're that impressed with the software. It includes the user-defined contest list that I looked at today. Had 395 user-defined contests in it at this point in time, and they're adding to that all the time. Of which,
so what you said, they're adding to it.
Anybody can add to it.
Right.
Yeah.
So you make one and you upload it to the.
You submit it to them. They obviously go through some checks and bits and pieces, and then they upload it, add it to the list. There are a couple of. There seems to be some serial developers who keep coming up in the names. There is one developer who's done most of the Australian ones, who is a G0. And can I just say, most of the WIA contests are already in there as user-defined, and I've got a list of those so you can see them. Okay. Now, why do I use N1MM? Because I've got VKCL, and I've got, VK5DJ, and I've got, a number of other Wavelog. Ben showed me the other day, VK7BEM. There are a whole range of them. There is. We saw. What was it called, Hayden? At the conference. It's gone out of my mind. Contest Logger.
Oh,
the World Radio League.
yeah.
WRL. So there are other options available if you want to explore it. It supports lots of contests natively. It also supports them obviously as user defined. There is real-time scoring if you want to connect to a cluster. Now, can I just say I'm not going to show you how to connect to a cluster, but I'm going to show you where you go to find the information to connect to a cluster. That's so you can push, you can pull from a cluster, you can do all sorts of nice things real time. Lots of context-specific features, which I'll show you some of those in the VHF and above contest, which is using the standard N1MM interface. So they've adapted what we need to do in that contest to the standard interface. Customizable layouts, which I'll show you. There's a great little feature called the band map arrangement, so you can see if you're getting information from a cluster or you're making contacts, what it's doing is giving you a little band map, and I'll show you what that actually looks like. So you can see where people are and what frequency they're on. And if you hover over them, it tells you actually when you can rework them. And some nice little features like that. All integrated digital modes, so you can start up WSJT, you can start up your RIDI application, it's integrated in. There's rig control, and I'll show you that because we connected to the IC705 here. There's all sorts of...
Are you going to do a section on rig control, or can I want to ask a question now about rig control?
Hold that thought. Hold that thought. There is an extensive part of the documentation on rig control. And can I just say, in most of the ICOM radios, it's 1 or 2 lines about how you do it. For the IC705, actually, it's about 4 or 5 paragraphs. So it's a bit more, there's some things missing in the 705 that I didn't know was missing in the other ICOM radios. So if you want to run 2 VFOs, you can't on a 705. Even though you can run it on the radio, they don't supply the cat control commands for you to do it. Possible enhancement for a later version. I'll show you the interface. Oh, sorry. I'll show you the interface. Cluster integration, rotator control. If you want to, it gives you headings, and you can get the rotator to zoom around to the heading that you need to contact. All that sort of stuff. Real-time logging and error checking. So one of the reasons that we came up with this forum was VK contest checker, VK log checker. Alan, VK4SN, has sort of sent signals that his preference is N1MM, and into the future is N1MM. At some point the rules are going to change, and as soon as the rules change on any contests that are supported by VKCL, it's going to become problematic, because there is no update being done to VKCL. Might be for VK5DJ. He's still about, John. Drew.
Yep.
John Drew. Yeah. South Australia. Yakka was an experiment that we experienced some fallout from. The VK log checker software, and support for that. So there's some reasons why. So who has used N1MM for a contest? Yep, okay. I can put my hand up. I've used it for an Australia Day contest.
But not since 2014, so...
Okay. 2023.
All right.
was the last time I used it for the Australia Day contest. So, and yeah, okay. In fact, when I installed it, there was obviously still files there with logs in it because it all came up with those logs. And I sort of went, ooh, okay. So that was good. So we've got a couple. So Catherine, and please chime in here, Catherine, if you're listening. Catherine's let me know, she does use N1MM for the international contests, but still uses VKCL. Yep. I know there's a push to use it from Alan, VK4SN. It'd be good to learn about the VKZL contest, and I'm going to go through that, Catherine, and how you install the user-defined contest files. Really good for connecting to the radio, recording the frequency correctly, which is excellent. I'll show you that. Various windows open, which I'll show you as well. There's a whole lot of tools that you can have open. If you've got lots of screen real estate, you can have everything open, etc. Now, Catherine uses DX Keeper for her log. So exports the contest file into DX Keeper. Does struggle sending info to LOTW from DX Keeper, so there's bit of difficulty there, and can't really find any information on YouTube. So if you've got anything about LOTW and DX Keeper, please point them in the direction of Catherine. Now Lance let us know. So N1MM has a two-tiered contest hierarchy. There are the built-in contests, which are, and there's over 200 of those. That's ARRL contests, RSGB contests. It's most of the national contests for the bigger organisations. And then there are user-defined contests. So the user-defined contests, you have I suppose, a limited ability to use the interface. You've got to use the general interface and adapt your contest input to that. There's already, for the field day, which I'll demonstrate, they're focused on the big contests, not the local ones. So that may be an issue, may not be an issue. There is an issue, the rework period was raised in the Discord channel for the field day. It doesn't, and Lance made the point, it doesn't stop someone actually writing a third party which queries the database, because it's just SQLite in the background, so it can query the database and then give you a rework period in another window. So there's nothing to do that. There isn't a rework window like the wonderful thing in VKCL, where you can put in the time to or the other one. So, however, I did find, quite by accident, if you do hover over in the band plan, if you do hover over the person, it does actually give you the period till you can rework them as part of the information that comes up as you hover over them. So it doesn't present it in a nice table. That's the only problem there. Matt, VK7MAT. Hang on.
So did you say you could access the database directly? Like, is there like an API that you could?
Well, it's a standard SQLite database. So if you can get to it through standard SQL API queries. Well and truly, it's and in fact that's how I suppose the multi stations use it, because everybody's all pointed at the same database. So so everybody's seeing the stats for the team. Matt, a couple of short notes, because Matt is a user. VK7MAT is a user of N1MM, has used it a number of times for contests. Rig control is great. with an on-screen waterfall display like a 705 or 7300 or 9700, etc. That, and the thing about the interface is it's bi-directional. So if you're seeing something on the waterfall that you want to go and investigate, and you go there, click on it and go to that particular, it's already updated in N1MM. And if you then do the same thing in going to the band plan and go, I want to rework that person, that just responds. So that's nice. That's really nice.
Does it have recontrol for more than one radio?
Yes. Yeah. Well and truly. And I'll show you that interface, because you can set up in the interface. I think there's 8 that come up. I don't know whether you've got the ability to change that or not, but there's certainly 8 slots that you can configure. So yeah. Oh, right. Okay. When you log a contact, it marks the call sign in the waterfall, which is that's really good. Screen layout's customizable, which I'll show you, and you can save that layout. So when you go back in, it recreates that layout for you, which is really nice. You don't have to go through and muck around. It works well with RTTY, is one of Matt's comments. One issue he found was the rework period for contests that are based on the last contact countdown versus a block. It wasn't as clear as VKCL. It didn't show a countdown timer. It was fine for the VKshires, as that was a 4-hour rework block. This may have been a setting issue on my behalf. So, now, hang on, there's more comments. The Microwave Diaries, good evening from a very hot and stormy Brisbane. So that's VK4, VK4 IF portable. We'll be running N1MM on the weekend for the VHF field day, so there you go. Excellent. Now, just a few comments, and this goes to when I was documenting this particular talk. If you have a PC that is quite locked down, like my work PC, which I do have local admin on, but they automate everything so that it actually installs it in the cloud and just symbolically links it back. It complains about that because it wants you to install locally.
You couldn't force your computer to do that.
Correct, I couldn't. Hence, I'm on my one of my shack computers. So, just a word for players: if you have your PC set up so that it basically sets everything up in the cloud, probably going to run into issues with N1MM. The other one is it comes up quite often with a little note where it gets halfway through the setup and stops and says, this might be an antivirus interaction that is preventing this program from starting, which I had a couple of times. You need to go into your antivirus and exempt N1MM so that it doesn't keep looking at it, or run it as admin, or whatever you've got to do to get around the antivirus interaction. That was the only thing that I found during the install program. Which antivirus were you talking about? I was using AVG. Yeah, okay. That's what I'm using on here. Yeah. Or it's very easy to go in and just say, don't do anything for these programs. So did that, and it all went away. All nice. Any other comments that you experiences, N1MM experiences, or that sort of thing? Hello, Jim.
Hello, sir.
I have a little device for you. It's a highly complex device. Any other experiences you want to share? No?
Not really.
Okay. Installation. Now, installation. I'll put all these links in the video description. Put in N1MM installation or install or download. You'll go instantly to N1MM somewhere here. Oh, let me just do that. N1MM. Yeah, funny about that. full install. So, two-stage process when you install it. There is the full installer, which is, I think, an August 2023 version, which you install, and then you go off and get the updates, the update file. So there's a download, full install, and then there is the latest updates file. Now the easiest way is once you have installed it, and this is what it looks like. Once you've installed it, if you go in and go Tools, check for new program version and install, it will automatically install whatever the latest version is. After you've done a full install.
Is that the latest version of the software, or is that just like an update of contests and stuff?
That's the latest version. That's a full program and contest update. The only thing I don't know, Murray, and this is something that I thought about this afternoon, I'm not sure that it updates the user-defined contests, though. I'm actually not sure about that. It updates the main one, so you get the main contests, but I'm not sure it updates the user-defined contests. That's something we need to work out. Because if there's an update to a user-defined contest,
it's particularly clever to be able to run out and look at what you've got installed.
Well and truly. I hope it does. I hope it does. So, two-stage process. When you do the full install, you then need to do a restart of the machine, of a Windows machine. You then go in, check for program updates, does all that sort of stuff. Really good. It just does it. Now, user-defined contests. So, let me just find where I've got user-defined contests open. Sorry, I had this all open before. Okay. Downloads, category menu, and if you scroll down the bottom of here, it's user-defined contests. And there are 395. There are still 395. So the key thing I would say is go to the user-defined contests page in the documentation and look at the contests that you want to download and grab them. Now, if I do, just as a WIA, there we go, WIA, VHF, UHF, user-defined contests. If we click on that, takes you to the page, you download it, gives you a bit of an outline, you download it and it just downloads a UDC file. The UDC file you then put into, and I'll put all this in the video description.
53 times that's been downloaded. 54 now. So that's not many.
No, correct.
But that's
today. Now, these are all of the VK, the WIA VK user-defined contests. I downloaded all of the UDCs, so you can see there is the Australia Day 1, the John Moyle, the Pride, the QRP, the RD, the Shires, the RIDI contest. There's 2 RD ones in there. I'm not quite sure about that. VHF, UHF, which is the one we're going to have a look at today. And there's the Memorial, the ZL Memorial Day contest, which is another one that I went in a little while ago. So drop it into that folder, user-defined contest folder. And restart N1MM. It's one of the things you've got to do. Now, I've already done that, so I've downloaded all of these, put them in the UDC file, and just to show you, if I do, and I'll go through this in a sec, this is your list of contests that then comes up, and this is the 200 odd ones which are built in, and the user-defined ones that you've put in the user-defined contest folder. You can see there's the Australia Day contest. Can I just say, I really wish that the Australian WIA ones were actually all labelled uniformly, because they're not, which means they're all over the place. You've got
the
to,
ARRL ones are.
correct. It should be WIA contest or VK contest.
You might be able to make your own user-defined ones with the labelling you've decided.
It's just a bit of a pain because you've got to go looking for them. But this is how it appears. So this is all the contests that you can select. As you can see, there's a fair few in there.
Are the user-defined all in one area?
No,
down the bottom?
they're in with everything else.
So it's an alphabetical thing.
Alphabetical thing, and that's why if they were all labelled VK something contest, they'd all be at least in one place. But okay, maybe that's a future thing. In fact, that's a good point. If you
probably edit the UDC file.
If you relabel the title of
it's a WIA. If it's user defined, it's just whatever that person called it when they first played it.
That's the thing, maybe there needs to be
That's
a
why
naming
there's two John
convention, so
Moyles, two users.
But if you relabel the UDC files, maybe it'll come up all in
You
the
can
same
probably
place.
edit it as a text editor or something.
It's probably a field
text.
within the file.
Yeah. Okay. But that just shows you. So that now includes all of those user-defined contests in the list that's available, and I'll go through how you select that in a sec. So the initial, any questions at this point that we want to about the installation or the user-defined contests? No? Okay. Once you've done that, open it up, comes up, there's a few configuration things you've got to do. I'll go into the configuration of the radio in a sec, but the first thing you need to do is change your station data. So this is all of your data, and this is all the stuff that appears at the beginning. Some of the stuff that appears at the beginning of the Cabrillo file when you export it in a contest. It pulls some stuff from here. All the stuff, CQ zone, ITU, long lat, etc., etc., etc. Fill all that in. That's easy. Now, tools. There's a few things you need to download here. One is, and these are all labelled download. Download and install the latest N1MM Logger manual. So that just downloads a PDF of the manual, which the help file then will refer to. So any updates you've got an updated documentation. You've got your latest country file, so update that. You've got the language pack. It defaults to English, so you don't need to download that. And import the country list from the download file. So download the country file, import and install it, and that just updates any country country codes, etc., etc. So now the other one you need, and this is the one that provides you with a really nice little thing with N1MM. Download and install the latest check partial file. This is the call signs that there's a growing file of call signs and their details, which you can download. So when you put in a call sign, it comes up and populates things like the name, their QTH, and all sorts of things. The other thing that this is bi-directional. So when you finish the contest and you've contacted a whole lot of people with your log, there is a upload your log to the check partial file database. So that then adds for others, those people in that database, so that when others download the check partial file, they get the information you've got.
This is of the people that weren't in the file, they've told you their QTH.
Correct.
They've
And
given you the data and you put it in.
correct. Because you put it in as part of the contest. So this is a growing, if you like, this is a growing QRZ.com, effectively. So that's the check partial file. And these are just, click on them, it goes away and does it, and that's it. That's all it's done. Doesn't do anything else. It's complete, done. So once you've done that, we can then go into your radio, configure the ports. This is, Murray, this is what we're talking about. 1, 2, 3, yeah, there's 8. I thought there was 8. COM port, the radio, this is a huge list. Now, literally, COM7, which I got from the device manager in Windows, that's the CIV port that it defaults to. There are two, those people who don't know, when you connect one of these, it comes up with, takes 2 ports, 2 COM ports. CIV, that's the CIV, it's COM7, I connected to it. This does auto baud rate detection. I've set it to, if you go into set, you do have some ability to modify some things here. I set it to 19200 or 9600, that's the other one. Standard always on, which is what they talk about down here. Suggested ICOM settings. Push to talk via radio commands for both digital and SSB modes, not for CW, so that when you connecting a key to it, you don't want it to automatically do it. You want to key it, and that's literally it. And I did not do anything else in here. There's obviously, if you're using WSJT, there may be some setup where you need to tell it where it is, or maybe it goes off and finds it. Single operator 1 VFO. This only supports 1 VFO. It doesn't support multiple VFOs, doesn't have the commands. At this point in time for a 705. For a 7300, etc., you would be able to put in single operator 2 VFOs, etc. Okay, now, as you can see, the interface here, that field is either, that's everything. That's the everything input field. So, if I want to go to 14230, and it's there, and that radio is on, just on dummy load. So, but I can also put in VK7 ZBX. Come up red on 20. Now, the other thing here is the way you move around these fields, very similar to VKCL.
How do you edit content?
Hold that thought. You can either use the tab key, which is what you do in VKCL, which tabs you through each of the fields, or if you're in a contest mode, if you push the space bar, it only takes you to the fields you have to fill in.
Space bar. Of course. It's obvious, isn't it? I don't know that I'm on board with that.
Is it a Mac?
So I'll show you. Now. I'm in a DX log, so I'm just in a general log here. I'll show you the difference when we go into the VHF log, the VHF a contest log. So that field is an everything input field.
It won't go green until you've obviously filled in all the right.
Correct.
That you need to.
Correct. So and I'll show you because this is not going anywhere. It's not connected anywhere. 5959. It's a general log. So Richard and T3. Great. You're in the log.
And that's obviously read the frequency from the radio.
That's what's in the database.
You were saying before you could see. Oh, is that on the left hand side?
Yeah, there he is. He's on the band plan. So 14230 VK7TW 0 minutes ago. Now this is a DX log, so it's not a countdown log. There's no countdown timer. There's no nothing in there. And if I was then to go to
Justin, if you had that connected to an antenna and you had stuff coming in, is that a waterfall display on that left-hand side? Or
on that, no.
You
It's
only
a
get
band
the
plan.
station
It's a band plan
display.
display. Now, hang on. Oh, we've got Matt. Any chance of seeing more of the screen? Oh.
You need to turn the lights off, Justin.
Just turn the top switch off. Oh, well, actually, that's only going to work for us. That is actually going out in high definition to the stream.
No,
No,
you're
it's
not,
not.
you're
No,
not,
it's
share,
not.
you're not sharing anything in the stream.
You're only seeing it on the camera.
Oh, bugger. Sorry. I'll just change that.
Come on, cool.
Watch this space.
Where's Ben? Alright. Oh dear. This tiny little portion of the screen.
And apologies to our streaming viewers. I fixed the sound and didn't go to project. So they're seeing that now. Done. Hope that's better, Darren. There we go. I hope that's better. What else? Any questions or anything you want me to show you at this point?
On your little map, it shows the grey line.
Yep.
It's not actually showing you a hit for VK7ZVX. Is that because when you put his address in, you see
No.
comic T-tree?
That's only a grey line.
Only grey line.
Yeah, I could have, if I was connected to a cluster, and what's the not ham alerts? What's the other one?
VSK reporter or
VSK reporter.
or widget.
You would have another one which is showing that connection. And in fact, a lot of the ones that you see screen grabs of have another screen which is showing you all the connections that are being made. And during a contest, that's pretty good. I'll just show you the band plan from a band plan point of view. 235. Yeah, Lauderdale. Cool. And you now appear. So, yeah.
So if you join a cluster, basically,
Oh.
that will get populated so you can see who's there.
That gets
So-
populated.
So you could configure multiple radios for read control. How do you select them?
Excellent question. Don't know.
Yeah, in the instance where we're going to do the VHF field day, we've got 5, 6, 7 radios. All on different bands.
When you're configuring a radio within the program, do you tell the program what bands it operates on?
You probably put an offset in. If you tell one particular radio, you might be able to put in an offset.
I'm not sure, but I'd be surprised if you can't. Now, that's an excellent question, though. You'll notice I've only got HF here. If you right-click into your entry space, you can change the band panel display. So you can, and this is where you add your 52, oh no, we don't have that, 23 centimetres, 9, 6, 3, and notice there's even light here, just point that out,
Which would be impressive.
and
So that would be how you would click on it and select that band.
So can you set up a dummy radio that's not rig controlled?
you can set up a manual, it just,
Yeah,
it's
can
just,
you do that now and see
Yeah.
whether or not this changes with the radio?
no, and so, if I say none to that, because I don't know enough about N1MM to show. Actually, that's how you do it, because you would have a different VFO and a different band map for each of those radios. That's how you do it. So you'd have a VFO for each radio with the frequency that's on that radio. That's how you do it, I reckon.
You can change VFOs.
Well, for instance, on 10 gigs, it would know to go with the radio that runs 10 gigs.
Oh, and you would click into the VFO for that radio and move around or whatever you wanted to do.
Right, so it's not per radio, it's per VFO, so because you can have multiple per.
Well and truly.
So very similar to VKCL, if you were making a contact, say on 6 centimetres there,
Yep.
you would just tick on 6 centimetres and then key in the call sign, that effectively sets the band.
Well and truly.
Well, VKCL, you select the radio and then it's talking to the radio, gets the information from the radio. We're looking at a different point of view. If you just type in the frequency.
No, but if you type in, if you select the VFO, it's two-way communication. So if you select the VFO, which has got, say,
1296 in it.
or you say it's in there, then you select the VFO that's got a HF1 in it, it'll just read whatever band and frequency that it's got.
Like your Omni
I'll have more research required. Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
I'd say-
Unlike VKCL, it's two-way.
I think VKCL would go two-way.
You can't type a frequency into VKCL and control the
But
radio.
you could tick on the radio.
The radio,
so on
the
the
radio
side.
can't do
And
they
it
can't do
change
that
bands
frequency.
sometimes.
All right. Okay.
That's
Okay.
viable.
So, what I was going to do now, how do you then, because this is set up for, this is set up for general logging. How do I set it up for the VK, the VHF, UHF field day? Go to Files. Now, this is where you have to have a little bit of a think about, do you want one database with everything in it, so all your contests and all your DX, etc., or do you want a database for your DX, you know, your general log, and then you've got, do you want another database for your contests? Do you want a database per contest? So you have each year in that database, or you need to have a bit of a think about this. And Kyle, AO0Z, actually has a good comment about how he sets it up, and he sets it up per contest. So so have a bit of a think. You can have it all in the same, all in the one database if you really want it.
I suppose if you had it all in the one database, then you could pass that data and interrogate it and work out how many times, how many contests you've had.
Across multiple contests and all of that sort of stuff.
But if then you've got all the eggs in one basket, if something breaks, then you've lost everything.
Correct. And if you're then wanting to do analysis of your log and you've got everything in the log,
You'd have to put so many filters in to try and...
correct. The SQL becomes a little bit more complex because you have to filter down. So how do we select the contests? I've got one database, everything's in there. So new log in the database. So I want to start new log ready for the VHF UHF field day. I say new log in database. I find the contest name. What was it called?
WIA VHF UHF.udc.
The name on the left is what is called sorted by.
Correct.
True.
And that's why I went down to WIA VHF and it's
WIA underscore VHF UHF.
It's at the top. It's at the top. That's the WIA Australia Day contest. This is a bit painful. This is why they need to be commonly. Okay, who's going to see it first?
Which one are you after? Australia Day?
No, VHF and UHF.
WIA underscore,
Underscore VHF UHF.
And I can't do.
Search.
control find.
No, I can't. I just tried it.
You just managed to sort it, didn't
Did
you?
you
sorted it
restart it?
you sorted it by the second column there.
So WIA.
What's that over the right hand side of the
Oh, there it is.
box?
WIA VHF UHF field day. So select that. There's a start date in here. So I'm just would check that it's right. Single op, multi op, check log, all bands, high power. All of this is the settings for that particular contest. Fixed station mobile, fixed mobile or rover. Is it assisted or not assisted?
CW was the mode.
What's assisted?
Now, assisted is if you're using the cluster.
Oh.
What's a cluster? You've said that 100 times.
So, a DX cluster is effectively a database that's created by an organisation or an individual where you feed contact information to it, and you share that information as widely as you want to.
That's real time.
And it's real time.
So you can tell who's working who, where, when.
But
Well-
but sometimes that's against the contest
Oh,
rules. So
correct.
Yeah, sometimes you have to turn it off.
And so,
Self-spotting.
you'd say, well and truly.
Yeah.
So,
But then other contests, it's fine to do that.
in our case, it would be non-assisted because you actually can't do that in the contest. Transmitter 1, 2, unlimited, etc.
That's
One just
obviously
means one at a
simultaneous.
time, though, doesn't it?
Single op by definition is one.
The exchange is a locator, so that's you exchange the locator, so the locator field comes up. Operator's me and any soapbox that you want put in, because this information gets put into the Cabrillo file,
Okay, so the exchange is locator, but also sequential number?
which it defaults to anyway.
Oh.
Associated files, I haven't changed any of that. Okay. And it creates that file for you. So, just so that we demonstrate it, VK7ZBX. Now, I tabbed. So, sent report, 5901. If I push the space bar, it goes straight to what the received report is. So the sequential number for the received report. And if I push space bar again, it'll take me to grid. So if you give me 34. Grid,
Kilo 37 Moscato.
great. Done.
And you selected that frequency off that list on the left hand side there.
Oh, it was whatever it defaulted to. It was.
You didn't select anything.
I didn't select anything.
Does it go back
Frequency.
and put that grid in for you next time?
Well, if you
Go to a different band.
go to 2 meters.
Yeah. So now it's happy.
Yes.
It does. Sweet.
And it increases you to number 2 now too.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's done.
35 would be the
So
next
you're
one.
using space to do that.
That was space. I could have used tab, but tab will take you to every field.
Because you may need to adjust your
Does
signal
enter
for
work?
those that don't give you 5 minutes.
Well and truly.
It was a predictor, that's right.
Yeah,
So-
VK
so-
UDC just have a tap along.
And that'll be 35. I doubt it does any
Already got
checking.
the locator.
Correct. It already puts it in.
I
So,
don't know if you covered this. Does it detect if you've already worked on that band?
yep.
Oh, cool. Yep.
And if I go down here, this is what I was talking about before.
Timeline.
It's the
Bands code.
Oh, yeah.
that counts down for the hours. That's what I noticed today. Just let that go a minute, and I think it'll update to.
I tell you what, if you could write something that would have a separate window that
We'll go
basically had
back
a
to
list
the-
of stations that you could work.
Go back to the other
Real time,
the other first Bandueti one.
Yep.
Whatever all that was.
Oh, like
6.
ready to go
There you
or
go.
something like that.
Now hover over it. What does it say?
-1 minute.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So like in VKCL, you've got that list of people, and in real time it'll pop up. Like, you know, if you work 1 hour 59 minutes ago, as soon as it ticks over
It's
2
just a
hours, of
SQL
course.
But in
It's just a SQL
but in
database.
VKCL, though,
It's that's all it is.
We can write a
Yeah.
we can write a query, make a front end for it to go on a different screen. Can be a
Yeah.
completely different application outside of this. It just looks at the database and displays.
We know like it does a bit of database stuff, don't we?
Really?
So
Just watch SQLite though. It used to be shit at locking for multiple users.
We only need to read it.
Yeah, but it opens in right by default. Check command lines in their screwed up databases.
okay, Matt VK7MAT highly recommended having the Spectrum display window open. This allows you to search and pounce on items as they come up. So now Matt, the Spectrum window, I'm gonna Spectrum display. There we go. Give it a moment. There we go. Oh, hang on. Sorry, that was me.
Turn down a degree.
It's on heating.
Geez, I hope there's no exam after this.
Spectrum display.
There will be no on Saturday.
It will also display the call sign
Okay.
entered in your log. Okay, so that'll come up on the Spectrum display as well. Now, Catherine's also. I have a database for each. This is how Catherine set it up. And now Catherine is also VK7 Charlie. Of course. I have a database for each year, and therefore all contests for that year are in that database. So first contest for 2025, I will start a new contest database called 2025 Open Login Database 2025.
And then just
So-
have another one for just general logging.
And then, so if you go up to File, there's 2 options: New Log in Database or Open Log in Database. So create a new one within the database or open one that's already created in the database. And new database and open database. That's create a whole new one. So Catherine's going to be creating a 2025 one, etc. Created, not, yeah, okay. I run the Spectrum display along the bottom of my screens. That's a comment from Matt, VK7MAT. Sorry. So, if you've got enough screen real estate,
4 screens is good.
which,
Can you move that off onto a different screen? You've got multiple screens, or
Yeah,
does it have to
well
sit
and
on
truly.
one monitor?
no, it can be on multiple screens. If you've got multiple screens, you've got that available to you. Because I've seen the
I'll chuck an extra one.
the PSK reporter stuff where it's showing you where you're contacting. That's usually on a big screen somewhere. That's what I've seen set up in shacks. So okay. Now any,
Where does the Spectrum display get its information?
I assume from there.
From directly from the radio, so over the top?
Let me get the contrast right.
Yeah, I'm
So
seeing,
maybe
I'm
it's
seeing
a
stuff
deal.
on your actual radio that I'm not seeing on that.
Yeah, and I'm not. To be honest, I'm not sure why.
Maybe make that screen just a bit bigger, just a little bit.
Raise it up.
It's green now.
Pretty good.
Green good to go.
That's because the contrast, I suspect. This is me not knowing how to drive this. So Matt.
You will defer this to somebody else.
Correct. I am definitely not an expert in this.
Okay,
That's
high level,
advice issues.
high level questions, not how to configure that, because people can read and work it out.
Correct.
Is it multi-user?
It can be well and truly.
Yeah,
Oh,
so you
like
can
over
run
the
mul-
network.
Well and truly. What
Yeah.
multi-user one database?
It looks from trying to store multiple radios, there seems to be under multiple computers needed, and you have a passing thing which says band X goes to this system.
Oh, you need a radio per.
Possibly, I'm just having a quick flick through, but it seems to be called passing in there, the docs.
Okay. From a multi perspective, there are
Just asking the
yeah,
question. I wasn't asking
yeah.
how to do
Just
it.
thinking the more automation you can have, the less opportunity you've got for a cock up.
Or particularly big.
Because if you mess it up, it'll remember and sort of duplicate that mistake.
So the comments, I just wanted to say, there is some colour coding when you put things in. Blue already there, red already a new country or a multiplier that you've got in a general log, or red if it's a dupe in a contest log. New countries come up as green. The two little LEDs here, or the two little lamps or lights, the first one green is the entry focus, so it's where you actually are in the screen, and it's comfortable with where you are in the screen and you haven't forgotten something or whatever else. That's what they call entry focus, and the red is actually the transmit focus. So if you do have multiple radios set up, that's telling you which one's going to transmit.
Excellent. Excellent. Which one's going to transmit?
Yeah,
Assuming you're using push to talk from the program.
from the program. So in digital
Which you
mode
do
type
in
arrangements.
WSJTX.
If you're using a microphone,
from inside the
doesn't
software.
matter.
What I'm looking for is when you press the microphone, it changes to whichever VFO you've hit. So if you've got 3 radios and you push to talk, because this is what gets me in VKCL all the time.
Oh,
You pick up the wrong radio.
yeah. And that's why I religiously change VKCL, then do the contact.
I found that
And I always do that because I've been caught in exactly the same way.
and OmniRig will often drift off, and you'll go from 80 metres to 40 metres.
Yep.
And you'll be making a few contacts, and you'll be going away, and then you'll look down at your log and you'll go, the log's only saying you're on 80, you're on 40. You're like, how long's that been stuck there? So you've got to stop, go back through.
Does
it.
this use something like OmniRig to connect, or is it just all written inside it?
It's all written inside it.
Yeah, okay.
Does it use hamlib?
Hamlib, yeah.
I don't know.
Probably.
I assume it probably does because pretty much everything uses hamlib. Anyway, final comments. Final comments. Now, at the end of your contest, log file. Generate Cabrillo File. So, will be generated using the following sent exchange, basically your locator, and the RST will be added if needed for this contest. Place 001 in the correct position for the serial numbers, which is what you're doing. If the exchange is not correct, use file open log in database to correct it. So you can go back and correct things on the way through. Is it going to score your log? I don't think it does.
Oh no.
So that'll be VK log checker that will be checking your log and scoring it. So yeah.
I'm assuming VK log checker ignores the claim points anyway.
It does, but the claim points is just text at the beginning.
Yeah.
Because the log checker then goes through checks and rescores. Well and truly.
It's a question for portable stations who are using different grid squares. That supports that?
I assume you go in and change
Tell
the
yourself to be a roller.
correct. If hang on. Yep. Okay.
I think the final comment on this, Steve, is that there's too much learning to do to use it for this weekend.
Yeah.
It might be worthwhile
Or
actually
two
using it
laptops.
for a general logger for a while.
Oh, I agree. Steve, that's a great idea, and getting used to it. Well and truly getting used to it.
And I think that's where we've all been sort of lulled into the familiarity and security of VKCL.
Correct.
Because we all use it now without even thinking. You just type it in and it just works.
Now, when when you store your log file, your Cabrillo file, it asks you whether you want to submit it to supercheck partial, and you can refuse or not do it, or do it. So it submits the log to them as well.
Who were they?
Well, supercheck partial is just a group of amateurs who maintain that database.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah. And if you're worried about privacy or whatever, well, probably not go in contests.
UDC course on there.
You'll be in that.
Yeah, hang on. Now, in the contest like, so this is from Catherine, in the contest like CQWW, it gives you a running total of points, zone multipliers, and at the bottom of the entry screen. That is one of the screens. That's one of the screens you can get up, which is...
Is that a built-in contest?
That's... No, well, good point. It does give it to you.
Worldwide would be a built-in rather than a
You
user
could do that
defined.
for a user defined if the information was in the...
Correct,
Yeah.
and it does give you the Windows, where is it? Check, entry, multipliers, no, score summary. Here we go. There it is there.
Actually, it does give it to you.
So it does give it to you.
It does give you the points. So you can actually have that sitting up, which is something that's just in VKCL that we're used to. I think it's always good to see how many QSOs you make on each band, just.
Oh no, well and truly. Yeah, so, okay. And it does give you the ability to rescore. Score summary screen, yeah, which I've just got up. Thanks, Matt. It shows multipliers and how they are applied to the score, which it does, etc. So, yeah. Final comments.
Familiarity.
Does it have a flat screen rather than windows everywhere?
No.
No. So
It's based on Windows. Each of the tools has a window.
So you can't undock them.
No,
Yeah, well, you move them wherever you want.
Push the ones out of the way.
Yeah, but at the moment they're all on top of each other. If you dock them all together, then they go into a fixed format on
Yeah,
single screen.
but then it's like size 3 font text. You've got to try and read it all.
Yeah, okay. Just only got one screen and there's too much information.
Well, and the thing about this is, in the scheme of things, all you need during the contest
Is that one?
is probably that and that, and maybe the scoring screen. Now, can I just say, and then what you do is go into, where is it? Come on.
That window, I've just seen it in the tools.
In tools? Save window positions. So the next time I go in here, that's what it'll look like.
Ah, that's very cool.
Is that login window resizable?
This one?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, they're small.
Yep. Sorry, it's now smaller. Or
I suppose it's probably a limit.
it's doing it.
Make it taller?
Yep.
Wouldn't say it won't make it taller.
Yep.
Well,
You
there's
can
no-
you can
there's
do
no
all of that.
information in that window to make it.
That's what I mean. So it's wide or narrow, but it's not tall. Can't change the height. Yeah, okay.
Okay. And come up and have a play. You can, well and truly. So I'll just want to call out any final comments from our viewers. We've got 14 online right at the moment. And thank you for the input from Catherine and Matt and the others. Fantastic. And they're the ones who have been using it a whole lot more than myself. I just wanted to give you a bit of a taster. Please install it. It's free, and have a play. And I like Steve's comment about install it as maybe a general logger, and have a play. Get it working there and get used to it, and then.
I think when you do WSJTX and FLDigi and all that stuff, I think you actually run it from inside.
You do.
And then hence
Well and truly.
it's able to N1MM is able to capture the data coming out of WSJTX and log it on the fly.
Justin, I may have missed this while I was outside. Is there a post-contest entry mode? Which is what I use on VKCL, because I still use paper and pen
Excellent question.
for reasons
Well, it's about
because,
the file.
because I don't have all my radios with computer access.
I don't know.
Yeah, okay.
Is the question. The only thing I'd do there is you could certainly enter it, but the problem will be you need the date and the time.
Yeah, well, I'd normally put that in VKCL anyway.
But you could certainly update that in the Cabrillo file, well and truly. Go through and enter it in here, so you've got the format, export it as a Cabrillo file, and then go through and change the time and the date.
Oh, that'd be painful.
Oh, and
That
all
would
the
be
numbers,
painful.
when there's numbers. The RD doesn't have numbers, that's convenient.
Yeah, very convenient.
Yeah, okay.
So I don't know. I actually don't know. Let me have a quick look. Edit last contact. Add a note.
Because it's in a database.
Edit current contact.
Well, VKCL sort of works the same way.
I'm not sure, Alan. I'm to be honest, I don't know. I don't know. But I'd be surprised. You can certainly edit
I
entries.
suspect it's there somewhere, not just
Just
because
sort of
I
how to
find it.
find contacts. So I suppose if you can select it, then you can't contact.
Yeah. But does it? The only thing here is it's not giving you the date and time field.
Okay.
That's. I don't know whether you can bring up the date and time field, which is what.
Post-entry
Yeah, but in
mode,
post entry there might
Yeah.
be.
Oh no. Well and truly.
Yeah.
Well and truly. But I don't. Yeah. I don't know. I
You would have to do that.
don't know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Obviously, you set your computer time to local time. It does the cap and obviously logs it in UTC.
And it's got all the options here. I'm UTC here, but you can set it to whatever local or whatever up here. So you've got an idea. Anyway, all right. No further questions. Go forth and play.
Fourth and log.
Go forth and log. And thank you for those people who have been online. Ask us on Monday. Hi. 73 from the Microwave Diaries.
I've got a question, Justin.
Oh, by the
Maybe
way,
there's a log
hang on. By the way, 15-minute time window being allowed for this next VHF field day.
Ooh.
Didn't know about that.
VHF time window.
So we can
Times don't match up within 15 minutes.
Oh, yeah. So
Ah,
you've got
that's what it
15 minute
means.
leeway.
Okay, so that's the threshold.
Geez.
Just
pretty
that's
broad.
designed for
Plus or
paper.
minus 7.5 or plus or minus 15.
Just found.
And you know what?
Anyway,
That's
all right.
actually fairly pragmatic because in
Yes, I
a contest where you're contesting hard,
No.
your time is going to be pretty accurate. But in a field day,
couple of times.
especially if you've got DX contacting working, you might spend, we're talking to Matt, you might spend 10 minutes on this, like, just you log it at the beginning or do I log it at the beginning?
Pages
So, yeah,
of 50 contacts per page.
Alan, there is a way of doing it.
Yeah, it will be.
There is. In the log window,
Yeah.
it's a log entry window, it shows you all